So first of all, Hayden, tell me, what are you doing? Where do you come from? What do you do?
So I work for Animation Research. I'm a software developer there. Technically my title is Unreal Developer. I'm actually from Ashburton originally, so I grew up in a small town. Had nothing to do with technology, well, the digital technology. I was actually a dairy farmer for a few years, so completely irrelevant to what I'm doing now. A few years into that, I was like, I want to do something different. Went to uni, got out a couple of years ago and applied for this job down here, and I've been down here ever since. Yeah.
Hello, so I'm Trelise. I'm a design and marketing strategist at Firebrand. I'm from Gore, Southland. I went to St Peter's College, and then I came up to Dunedin to study a degree in communication design. And then from that, in my last 3 months for our major project, I got to do an internship with Firebrand, which was really fun, went really well, and then I got hired out of that to be full-time today. So I've been really enjoying that, and yeah, just love growing up in Gore and Southland. Yeah.
So I'm Callum. I come from Mosgiel, so I've never left this place, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever way you look at it. I am the first in my family to have a degree, so quite the change from the typical tradespeople or just general workers as they are. So I'm a mechanical engineer and I went to Polytech. Following on from my grandfather, I guess, I am the family of Scott Technology, if that makes sense. And I work at United Machinists now as a CNC machinist. Yeah.
My name's Chris. I'm a civil engineer with Fulton Hogan. I am originally from Oamaru, and half my family is sitting in the crowd there. I initially left high school and went overseas, where I got a job as a civil contractor. And then after a wee while of doing that, I thought it was just time to come back and kind of get on with it. So I decided to do engineering at the Polytech here, and that led into my current role with Fulton Hogan.
So where did you travel?
I was in Canada, so Alberta, Calgary for 3 years. I was in Edmonton for a year, and then 2 years in Calgary. So yeah, I went over to work with kids and decided I didn't really like that, didn't like the family business. So from there I went and worked at ski fields, which was great. And then when the snow melted, I had to kind of look for something. So got a contact in a construction company, and from there I kind of just fell into it, and that turned into 2 years of doing that. And then from there I found the civil engineering program at Polytech and thought, yeah, it's a good fit, and yeah, now I'm here.
So what was your pathway through school, and how easy do you feel that it maybe, or how easy was it or difficult was it to get where you are now if you think back to school?
Well, I found school quite easy because I made it quite easy. I kind of just skated along and just kind of did what I could and didn't do what I couldn't. But my main focus actually was more into like history classics, that sort of stuff. That was my main passion. I did, the classic physics and calculus and chemistry, but I didn't actually do all that well at it. But then I always had kind of that drive to, I guess, figure stuff out. So that's how that pathway kind of eventuated. And then, I was a bit not sure what to do after that. But then once I found the Polytech course, it kind of all fit together. So my skills in being able to write stuff, and then my basic math skills were pretty good. So I kind of just moved in with that.
So very much the same as Chris. I did the typical calculus, physics, chemistry, but I was just a middle of the road student. I was nothing special. I knew from a young age that I wanted to do engineering, probably since I was 12. I always had a knack for pulling things apart, and one day they did go back together and still worked. I found school to be interesting in terms of my day-to-day skills are using lathes and mills and doing those workshop skills. Unfortunately, through school, I couldn't do the things that I love because they are unit standard based, and I couldn't go to Polytech on unit standard based things. I do think that's a bit of a shame, and looking back, I think, you know, there are some pathways that those technical hands-on skills do relate to Polytech or further tertiary education, or skills that can be used in general.
So, would you argue they're undervalued in terms of our education system, that there should be more weight placed on those technical things that you were absolutely passionate about?
I do think so. I'm sure Chris would agree as well that there are lots of industries that you don't have to be a brainiac in, but having those technical skills will give you an upper hand. And I do think they should be weighted a bit more heavily than just things on a piece of paper, if that makes sense. That's it boiled down real simply, but yeah.
No. Our audience here, I think we all feel very deeply for our students who have those passions that aren't celebrated enough, because we value them and we need them in our daily lives, and yet, yeah, they should be, the accreditation should be a lot higher. Trelise, what about you? In terms of your school, tell us about St Peter's. What was that like coming through in terms of where you are now?
So St Peter's was really good. It's a small town school, and I found that with a lot of my creative classes, I took art design, graphic design and media studies. I was maybe the biggest of those classes was 4 students. And then there are some classes where I was the only student, but rather than saying you can't do it, which was often a case for lots of people, I was the one senior sitting in with the juniors in the back of the class, doing it by myself, doing an artboard by myself, which was really good that I still got to have all those opportunities to do the creative stuff, because that's what I love to do. And then that's basically what my degree was very much the same sort of stuff. So yeah, I was lucky that they were very supportive. I had other classes like RE, for example, where I was sitting in my teacher's office on a free period so I could have my extra graphic design class. So I was super lucky in that regard, that they were super accommodating. Because it was really good. So yeah, shout out to St Peter's.
Cool.
So school itself, I was pretty cruisy really. I never really tried all that hard, unfortunately. But I was always alright at the sciences and maths and stuff. I was always but I grew up on a farm, so I was always the guy in the chemistry class wearing the Swazi farm shirt while everyone else was, wearing their blazers or whatever. But I mean, I did a lot of the I guess what you're saying, the technical things. I did woodwork, metalwork and stuff like that. I didn't go straight to university out of school, so I didn't actually need NCA to get into university. I waited until after I was 20 and I kind of just got accepted into it. So I guess in that kind of example with what these guys were saying about being credited for those classes, I guess it didn't really affect me in that way. Then getting into this industry, I definitely found going to university quite difficult to begin with, not really trying in school, and then all of a sudden it's a much different environment. But yeah, I guess just perseveration and kind of being excited to get into the field and do something that I was more ambitious or passionate about doing. But yeah, what was the rest of the question? Was that pretty much it?
Yeah, I think you've done very well.
Probably a lot of the professors at my university were very helpful and kind of directed me in my passions and kind of that kind of stuff. I can't say there was really anyone before that. This was kind of a leap that I took getting into this industry, so there was no real direction from anyone in that way. But yeah, so.
So Trelise, who inspired you or influenced you, or who were the kinds of people that supported you in that pathway that you've got to now?
I'll say what I said to you before, and it's probably my mother or my whole family. She said just since I was year 10, when you first have to start choosing subjects, she just said do what's going to make you get out of bed and actually be excited to go and go to school or go to work or whatever. So for me that was doing art and doing graphic design and media studies. So that's what I did. So yeah, and then from there, that made me pick a degree that I had the skills and had done the classes to do, and then now my job. So from there, I just always did what made me excited to go to work or go to class even. That's my family.
It would mainly be my family. My dad always said, if you find a job that you like doing, you'll never work a day in your life. And I sort of just followed what I enjoyed doing, which led me to meeting one of my lecturers, Adam Liberator. I don't know if any of you have met him, but a fantastic dude. He was hugely beneficial to getting me to the place where I am now. At times he pushed me to do things that I definitely didn't want to do, but I am better for now. Yeah, mainly my family, and there's always that one key person you meet, I feel, at tertiary education that pushes you or drives you a little bit, yeah.
Chris, what about you?
I'd probably say my dad, and then Kerry Ryan as well, just for kind of helping me get through high school to leave doors open, and then my family pushing me to kind of take a leap, which was to go overseas, and then probably from there it was just a series of different people that pushed me to get a good, working thing, good attitude, stuff like that, and the importance of being able to show up on time and be able to actually put the effort in. Outside of that, there was probably, I did a bit of work at St. Kevin's in the holidays with the caretaker there. He helped me kind of understand I could work with my hands, or I could, do something more practical. That was probably the main influences there.
And what's the best thing about your chosen pathway?
It's definitely the people. So there was one big thing about why I wanted to stay in civil construction and kind of in that industry, is the people that I met and the people I get to work with in the kind of environment I get to work with. I really do like it, and it does help me get out of bed every morning knowing that I can go in there, and it's a real, for me, it's a real team environment, be able to kind of work with other people and, utilise other people's skills and complement to my own, and get like a actual job done, and something that you can stand back and look at it afterwards and be like, hey, look, they say engineers build monuments, but that's kind of what I like to think about.
I get to say that I work for a pretty cool company here in Dunedin, but also it's pretty cool to be able to go home and actually hold something at the end of the day and say that I've made that. I find that side of it pretty rewarding. It's probably the biggest thing for me, to be fair, is having that reward at the end of the day of saying that you've actually created something that is I'm losing my words here, sorry, is changing people's lives in some aspects, but also driving the industry and driving the bounds of what we're achieving as humans.
I'd say the team I'm with now, or just the people I've had the whole journey pretty much, have just been so awesome. It's just never stop learning. I say every day there's probably something new that I've learned, which is so cool. And having these moments where I'll just be at my desk and I'm oh my god, this is my job. I get paid to design stuff, and it's just so cool. So yeah, it's literally what I wanted to do as a child, is design stuff that you'd see in a supermarket, and that's my job. So it's just so awesome. But yeah, the team, everyone around me has just been super nurturing and encouraging. So yeah, just never stop learning. It's just the best part.
Same question, Hayden. What is the best thing about your chosen pathway?
I should probably say the team, because 3 of them are here. No, honestly, the team's great. The work environment's it's amazing. But I think the biggest thing is probably how rewarding seeing your work on TV is. I think that's pretty cool. And just seeing the end result, but also just doing something that I'm quite passionate about. You study this thing and you're is it going to go anywhere? And then when it finally does, you're oh, this is amazing. So I think a mixture of those things Yeah, I mean, no one answer really, but yeah.
So we have a room here full of leaders from schools and business. What advice do you have for them to help young people like you? Maybe, if you can cast yourself back to that young person, what advice do you have for them to help you guys in your chosen pathways? The younger you.
I'd say encourage passions over education. Like anyone that's passionate about something can learn what they need to learn to get things done. That's all I can really say on that. So.
Good answer. Great answer. I think a lot of the educators in the room feel the same way. If we can have our students feeling passionate about things and following their dreams, it's so important. Trilly, so what advice do you have for us to help young people like you or the younger version of you in pathways?
I'd say just be a yes man. Like, I try to never say no, I can't do something. If someone's like, can you do this? If I have never done it before, but I'll just say yes and just figure it out as I go. And I feel like that's definitely what's helped me along my way, and it sets you ahead if you say oh no, I can't do that. I don't know, just saying yes, even if it fails at the end of the day, it's just a learning experience. So just say yes to every opportunity that's presented to you, and then it's just only going to get you further ahead. So be a yes man.
So, leaders of schools and businesses, what advice do you have for them or us to help you? As a young person, what would you have liked us to have said?
It's a really difficult question to answer. I think Hayden summed it up fairly well, to be fair. But I think having more events like this that foster engagement with industries and between businesses and school to gain an understanding of what pathways and what industries are looking for in terms of skills and work ethic and things like that. I think that's hugely beneficial. It's probably not so much about what you could have said to me when I was younger, but if you had showed me what was possible, then I think that's hugely beneficial.
Cool.
I think just opportunities to get amongst it, actually get out there and kind of experience what different industries are like. I guess if you'd said to me even a few years ago that I'd be kind of doing this, I'd probably look at you funny. It wasn't really something that I'd ever thought about. I didn't even know what Bolton Hogan did. I didn't really even know what engineers did. I just knew that maths was kind of hard. So, but just being able to see that there is a middle ground for people. I'm an engineer, but I don't have to know all these complex calculations on the tensile strength of bridge supports. I guess I kind of do, but there's super technical stuff that designers deal with. So just understanding that there is that opportunity to kind of be on the construction side or kind of, I guess, the practical side of any industry.
Well, I for one have really appreciated being here this morning and sort of feeling, I think, Steph reaffirmed in what we believe is really important. But thank you very much, and on behalf of the schools here, I'd like to thank all the business and techie people, because it's been enlightening and so exciting and so broadening in terms of where we are with it. These young people are just a testament to they're amazing employers and probably some amazing educators along the way, and clearly some pretty stunning parentals as well. So thank you parents as well, but thank you guys for coming and giving up your time and getting up early to come and join us, because I think as you've said, these things need to be done more often, and I think they are true reminders of the goodness in our community, but also the generosity as well. So well done you guys, thank you.